Welcome to In the Know with Reverend Paula Behrens, where we talk about various topics that will help you to live your best life in Christ. I'd like to begin by sharing one of my recent experiences as a pastor. Back in 2020, when the pandemic first hit, I was pastoring two small churches in East Texas, and of course, the sudden changes that took place not only put a lot of stress and grief on the people in the congregations that I served, but also on me. But I was their spiritual leader, and I knew that I needed to find a way to be a calming presence amidst the storm that was brewing all around us. But to tell you the truth, I was a little shaken myself with all that was going on. And not only that, but I felt this heavy weight of the one who had to make some tough decisions for the congregations that I served. I knew that I didn't have a lot of control over what was going on, but I did have control over how I could prepare myself to be the calming presence that I needed to be. That's when I got serious about an intentional daily time of prayer as I began my wonderful journey into anointing with oils for emotional support. At first, I was a little skeptical. I knew all about the power of prayer, but I didn't know that much about the power of oils for emotional support. But after a few sessions of my special time with the Lord and with the oils from the plants that He created for us, I knew that I had made a good decision. I was able to be that calming presence that I needed to be most of the time. I was able to focus better on the tasks at hand so that I could get the work done that was required of me. And I felt God's guidance. I felt His guidance in how I could best help the people I was called to serve during those crazy, crazy times. So once we opened back up, I was actually very comfortable diffusing some of the oils that had been so beneficial to me into the sanctuaries, like frankincense and joy for spiritual and emotional support. Plus, I added in a few drops of thieves for immune support as well. Since then, I've fallen in love with my own personal time of anointing with oils and hope that my story will inspire you to do the same.
Hi, I'm Kathy Behrens. I'm happily married and a mom of 3 grown children who has since married and blessed us with their spouses, 6 grandchildren, and some grandpuppies. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to attend this event. I hope you will glean some helpful information for you and your loved ones. You may be able to relate to the following story. I know I can when we lost our sweet sugar bear Samoyed dog some years ago. The following story is from Sarah. This past year, we lost our white labby pup that we'd had for 10 years. Most who know me know that I'm a cat person. We have 5 kids, and this was their dog. That's why I was blindsided when I realized how much she had become a part of our family. Even 5 months after her passing, I'm still chopping up chicken and tossing it on the floor for her and hearing her tail wagging in her crate. There's absolutely an emotional attachment that cannot be denied, even for a cat person. Sarah said, by the way, I adored her. She was my snuggle bug. I just was raised with cats and love them too. I tried this protocol after her passing, not thinking it would really work, but for me, it has made a huge difference in how I processed everything.
First, a disclaimer. We are not doctors. We are not here to diagnose, treat, or cure any of your illnesses. The content we cover is for informational purposes only. Before we get started, I'd like to invite you to find your bottle of frankincense, if you have one, and put a drop in the palm of your hands like this, and then take the frankincense, swirl it around, put a little on the back of your neck and up into your hairline, and then breathe in deeply. Okay, it's time to talk about grief. It's said that there are 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, sadness, and acceptance. And we are going to talk about these stages along with a few oil blends that pair well with emotions and grief. I'll be listing these stages in the traditional order, but actually people respond differently to grief and sadness, and they may go through them in a different order, with acceptance, of course, being the healing stage. Denial, the first stage in this model, is denial, and an oil blend called transformation may help a person ease through this stage of grieving. This stage can be especially troubling for family and friends of a person who is grieving. A person in denial may appear to not fully grasp the reality of the situation. They can't believe that they lost their loved one, or they tell people that they're fine without any help. This stage is troubling because it often doesn't reflect reality. Friends and family may feel frustrated with a loved one who is in denial. They may also worry that the weight of their loss may come crashing down on the person at any minute. But we enter this stage of denial to prevent the weight of loss to come crashing down on us. Denial is often thought of as a defense mechanism, or a way to take a small dose of the overwhelming feelings of loss. We may, we could think about a coffee drinker. A coffee drinker can handle a few sips of caffeinated coffee at a time, but the idea of chugging a whole pot at once can be unpleasant and unhealthy. In the same way, denial allows us to sip on the feelings of grief without letting it overwhelm us completely. Denial becomes unhealthy only when it prevents someone from moving through the other stages of grief. At some point, a person will have to face the reality of their loss and process their emotions accordingly. It's certainly painful, but it's the only way to move through grief and come out a stronger and more accepting person.
Okay, let's talk about the oil transformation. This is a blend. Repressed trauma and tragedy from the past may be out of sight, but they're definitely not out of mind. Memories are imprinted in our cells for better or worse. Stored negative emotions need to be replaced with joy, hope, and courage. The natural plant-based essential oil blend transformation is one of my very favorites. I can feel its effects as soon as I apply it to the back of my neck. In fact, I feel like I can now take a deep, refreshing breath that benefits my whole body and uplifts my spirit for the day. I put it on every day. Transformation blend radiates with the purifying and uplifting oils of lemon and peppermint, along with the revitalizing power of sesquiterpenes from sandalwood and frankincense. Idaho blue spruce can assist in anchoring new mental programming. Reaching into the deepest recesses of memory, transformation can assist in empowering and upholding the changes essential for your well-being. Positive, uplifting beliefs are foundational for this transformation. Apply transformation to your palms. Rub your hands together and breathe in deeply. Fill your lungs as far as they will go. Breathe out twice as slowly as you breathe in. Apply a few drops to the back of your neck and up into your hairline. Rub it in upward toward your brain.
There are a couple of oil blends that may help a person ease through this stage of grieving: release and forgiveness. Anger is another feeling that prevents us from addressing grief head on. We may transform our grief into anger and direct it towards the person who we lost, or the world at large, or even things that have nothing to do with the loss. Say, for example, you're grieving the end of a relationship. You may direct your anger at your ex, or maybe you're grieving the loss of a family member to cancer. You may direct your anger at the cancer itself, the healthcare system, the doctors, or even your higher power. Anger allows us to work through emotions without being completely vulnerable. Unfortunately, this can cause tension for friends and family who may not be grieving as intensely. Anger can push away the people who are here to support us through this time. Again, anger is natural, but can become unhealthy. But once the anger is exhausted, a person can face their emotions head on and ask for help.
Okay, so let's talk about the oil blend release. This is a helpful blend that may assist to release anger and memory trauma in order to create emotional well-being. It helps open the subconscious mind through pineal stimulation to release deep-seated trauma. It's one of the most powerful of the emotionally supporting essential oil blends. It includes the beloved ylang-ylang flower, lavender, geranium, sandalwood, and blue tansy. For aromatic application, I personally love to diffuse 1 drop of release with 1 to 2 drops of joy and 5 to 7 drops of tangerine every morning from my RA medical grade diffuser. For topical application, apply release to your palms, rub your hands together and breathe in deeply. Fill your lungs as far as they will go. Breathe out twice as slowly as you breathe in. Apply a few drops to the back of your neck and up into your hairline. Rub it in upwards toward your brain. Now let's talk about the blend forgiveness. This blend may assist in helping to release hurt feelings and negative memories, allowing one to move past emotional barriers, assisting the person to forgive and let go. This blend includes Melissa, also known as lemon balm, that may assist with calming anxiety, geranium, frankincense, sandalwood, coriander, angelica, and lavender. Apply forgiveness to your palms, rub your hands together, and breathe in deeply. Fill your lungs as far as they will go. Breathe out twice as slowly as you breathe in. Next, you may apply a few drops to the back of your neck and up into your hairline. Rub it in upward toward the brain.
I love both of those blends. Okay, bargaining is a third step of grief, and peppermint is a good choice of oil that may help a person move through the bargaining stage of grief. During the stages of denial and anger, we avoid vulnerability, but a person grieving cannot avoid being vulnerable for long. Bargaining is a person's last-ditch effort to regain control over their situation and avoid being vulnerable. When someone is in the bargaining stage, they are attempting to explain the loss or make a deal in order to avoid the loss altogether. Now, bargaining looks very different among people who are religious and people who are not. A classic example of bargaining is begging to God for the grief to end. They may say that they'll never cheat or never skip church again, only if God can give them their loved one back. But bargaining is not limited to the religious. Other examples of bargaining include, if I had only gone to the doctor sooner, I could have prevented the spread of the disease. Or if I had only checked in with them, they wouldn't have died. Or if I had been a better boyfriend or girlfriend, then I wouldn't be so alone. Like denial, this can help to slow the overwhelming feelings that come with loss. Humans are meaning-making creatures and therefore have a natural inclination to make sense of loss. Unfortunately, sometimes these losses cannot be explained. Next, we'll talk about peppermint.
So let's talk about peppermint essential oil. You may want to use a carrier oil or a high-quality olive oil with peppermint, because peppermint is such a powerful oil that it is absorbed at a very high rate. The carrier oils slow down the absorption rate, making it more comfortable for your skin. Peppermint is purifying and stimulating to the conscious mind. Research indicates that peppermint aroma inhaled during mental tasks may help attention, performance, and focus. I love using peppermint. A couple of added benefits are that peppermint may be an effective appetite suppressant when inhaled, and researchers found that peppermint lessened headache pain in a double-blind placebo-controlled crossover study. Apply peppermint and a carrier oil to your palms. Rub your hands together and breathe in deeply. Fill your lungs as far as they will go. Breathe out twice as slowly as you breathe in. Next, you may apply a few drops with the carrier oil to the back of your neck and up your hairline. Rub it in upward toward your brain.
Sadness is the fourth stage of grief, but it's the one that we most commonly associate with loss in the grieving process. We'll be using a blend of oil called joy for this stage of grief. During this stage, the person faces their loss head on. They become vulnerable and feel overwhelmed with sadness. To an outsider, sadness can appear to be the quietest of all the stages. A person who is sad or depressed may take themselves from others. Socializing, joking, or even getting out of bed can feel too exhausting for someone experiencing a deep sadness. Someone in this stage may be exhausted by the thoughts they are experiencing, often for the first time throughout the grieving process. They may question their own mortality. They may be asking themselves how they can go on without their loved one or their job or their relationship. Their hobbies, job, or day-to-day routine may just seem pointless to them. Let's talk about joy.
Okay, I love this. I use joy every morning too. Let's take a look at one of my favorite oil blends, Joy. As I mentioned earlier, this beautiful blend produces a magnetic energy that can assist in bringing joy to the heart, mind, and soul. Joy can inspire romance, but it also may assist one in overcoming deep-seated grief and depression. This blend of oil includes bergamot, ylang-ylang, geranium, lemon, coriander, tangerine, jasmine, Roman chamomile, pomarosa, and rose essential oil. Wow, that's a powerhouse. All of those oils offer some amazing benefits, and I encourage you to do more research on your own about each of these constituents if you wish. For topical application, apply Joy to your palms, rub your hands together, and breathe in deeply. Fill your lungs as far as they will go. Breathe out twice as slowly as you breathe in. Apply a few drops to the back of your neck and up into your hairline. Rub it in upward toward the brain.
Okay, joy and peppermint together. Oh, that's awesome. I love that one. Both of those together, I can smell them both. All right, so acceptance. Fortunately, there is a light at the end of a dark tunnel. And I think it's very appropriate to use a blend of oil called acceptance for this stage. This is the final stage of grief. Acceptance doesn't equate to happiness or complete healing, though. A person who is grieving may still miss their loved one. A person who is dying of a terminal illness may still fear what is to come. But the grieving person accepts their loss and begins to move forward while acknowledging the reality of the situation. There is little effort now made to change that reality, even if the reality is painful. Just because a person has begun to accept their reality doesn't mean the grieving process is done. Denial, anger, or any of the other stages may still be present after a person has entered acceptance. It's also normal for a person to experience these stages out of order. Our next oil blend is acceptance.
Okay, let's take a look at acceptance. This is kind of a new one to me that I'm really enjoying. It's a blend of oil that stimulates the mind, compelling us to open and accept new things, people, or relationships in life, allowing one to reach a higher potential. It also allows us to, helps us overcome procrastination and denial. The blend of acceptance includes these oils: coriander, geranium, bergamot, frankincense, sandalwood, blue tansy, neroli, and ylang-ylang. Oh, no wonder I love it so much. Apply a drop of acceptance to your palm, rub your hands together, and breathe in deeply. Fill your lungs as far as they will go. Breathe out twice as slowly as you breathe in. Apply a few drops to the back of your neck and up into your hairline. Rub it upward toward the brain. We will do the same with frankincense. I use frankincense to both start and end this protocol. By the way, some stages may be revisited again, and some may never occur at all because everyone is different in their grieving process. Transitions may be more like an ebb and flow. You think that you have conquered one and then you return to it. That's okay. It's part of your body's way of processing sadness. With God's help and the application of the oils, it will heal. Please note it is important to keep your diffuser going with these oils because their presence in the limbic lobe of your brain, accessed by breathing, is stronger than the topical or internal use. Each day, make sure to get at least 15 minutes of diffuser time. I like to keep it going next to me while I'm working. And if you're not sure which oil to use, smell them all. Your body will tell you what it wants. In addition to the back of the neck protocol, you can also apply the oils to your big toes just before bed. Just don't wear socks though, because they will absorb the oil.
Okay, I'd like to invite you to grab our 28-day healing protocol calendar. We've added it to the chat for your convenience or under this video if you're watching the replay. Make sure you grab the calendar now, save it to your computer, print it out, and then join us for the 28-day healing challenge. It's a fun challenge that's designed to uplift the spirit, especially when we are facing difficult times.